Go.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Espresso with Erin and Sarit,
Do I look like a picture? I was trying to look like a
where
picture.
where we talk about what's on our heart and while being in the pursuit of transforming millions of lives, your life, through the same movement, nutrition, and lifestyle habits that have transformed ours. And every single week when we come on here, we like to share things that we see happening just in this world and in our community that we believe are just relevant tips, cues, golden nuggets, and perhaps a little bit of coaching in order to help you elevate and pursue your best life.
Yeah, I'd like to get a little bit more specific on that.
All right.
Because if this is your first time watching this and you are seeing this on YouTube, we very much specialize in helping, I would say, midlife women. Right? Does that like sum it up? Midlife women who want to look great in their bodies, feel great in their bodies, their clothes, their energy, and just the way that they show up in the world. And a lot of times in this industry, everything that's talked about is diet and exercise. Okay, sometimes hydration, okay, sometimes recovery, stretching, hormones, but it's all surface level. And those are all just like what's on the surface, the cherry on the top.
Mm-hmm.
If we don't address, though, everything else that goes into it, then you will constantly be chasing your tail, trying a new diet, a new workout regimen, and being frustrated with why you're not getting results from how much hard work you are putting in.
Mm-hmm.
So, our goal is to help make the journey a bit simpler and also very sustainable, regardless of what season you're in, regardless of what's going on in life, regardless of how your hormones fluctuate. And so that is what we're all about. And today, I asked Sarit, do you have an idea for what you want to talk about? First,
Yeah.
so this is what we do on Fridays. What do you want to talk about? And
What do you want to talk about?
typically it's something that we see from our Savage sister community who are live with us right now. Hi. And it's typically something that we see as a trend or a theme within our community. And so today,
Or in our or in this case, in our community, in comparison with regards to what is happening in the outside world. So I'll tell you guys,
can I finish my sentence, please?
yeah.
Thanks. What was I saying?
In our
Okay,
community,
I think if we cut each other off, we should be responsible for
we
remembering
should
where
have a button.
we should we should be responsible for where the other person was at. um,
Button.
oh, in this case, we are at least going to start off with, oh, I love the reactions. It's so fun.
They like the button idea.
Yeah, it is the button. You guys can vote. If one of us cuts the other one off, like put a thumbs up if it's a good or not. Just kidding. Don't do that. Just put hearts. Make me feel good about myself. Please, I need validation. Okay, so
No, you
we're gonna
don't.
start. No, we're gonna start off at least today with momentum. And if you've been here a while, you know that typically we go off onto this rabbit trail and off onto that rabbit trail, and they're typically really great trails. So grab your pack
And let's go hiking.
and your hiking boots and let's go on all the trails today,
and
wherever momentum leads us.
And I hope you brought some water because
I brought my
hashtag
coffee.
hydration target. Okay, so I want to give you guys, the Savage Sisters, a huge shout out because, you know, like walking into the last couple of days in school and in Voxer, it is really inspired. I am really inspired by you guys, by how you've shown up at the end of the year, like the last week of the year. Because the reason why I wanted to talk about this is because I believe that what separates the best from the rest is that they're playing a different game than most. So most people right now are playing the game of New Year's resolution. And over the last 24 hours, I've seen a lot of reflection posts from you guys about how a decision that you made in 2025 or 2024, whenever you made it and you started building momentum, has truly transformed your life 360. And it really inspires me to know that we have a little, even just a little bit to do with helping you to live a life that you're proud to wake up to every single day, truly. And it doesn't matter what day it is. It's not like a life that you want to escape from, right? Like some of you guys, depending on where you're currently at,
That's like why you found us.
in the program and what level you are and what commitments you have, like you chose to stay completely on track, which most people confuse on track and intentional with strict. Strict is an opinion. You know what I mean?
Or I'd say restrictive too. Strict, restrictive.
Yeah.
Restrictive.
Yeah, discipline comes with standards come with boundaries, right? So like so all that to say, seeing how you guys have chose to celebrate your new year, like it really inspired me, because I hope that you guys are also getting inspired by it to really see how it's not about being perfect. It's about being consistently intentional. And that is the missing link that most people lose sight of, because it doesn't feed the ego, right? So currently, when this episode is recorded, it's January 2nd, and people are now rolling off of motivation. The way that I see it, rolling on motivation is it's weak. It's like doing what mediocrity does.
It's elementary and it's
and it only lasts for such a it has a very short time span. Like I'll give you guys an example.
and inconsistent.
I actually woke up extremely under recovered today for some reason, not really sure why. And today's workout had a lot of high skill, which requires a lot of thinking, and it was kind of heavy. And I was like, shit, dude, like my body's like just not feeling it.
She smashed it though.
I did. I got outside
Hundo.
of my comfort zone 6 times, and I literally hit all of my objectives. And my reflection with regards to that, it's because I've been preparing and I've been training for this. So when we are prepared and we are trained, it doesn't matter when and if adversity shows up. It doesn't matter if, maybe we're not feeling it, or it's not our quote unquote best day, or we're not motivated. We're going to show up anyways. And that is how you win in life. You don't win in life by forgetting about what your intentions are for a couple of weeks or a couple of months. And then you wake up. And I believe that a lot of times motivation is actually inspired by a lot of negative emotions, like guilt, like fear. And it doesn't always have to be the case, because when you are just a motivated person to begin with, because you're enthusiastic, that's not the point. The point is you generate the motivation through momentum. But I'm sharing all of this with you because I'm just walking into 2026. I'm really inspired because it's really cool to be a part of a culture that thrives on momentum and embodies it each and every single day, even on the last week of the year, even on December 30th, even on December 31st, even with how you celebrate the new year. And walking into a day like today, you're showing up on this Friday like you showed up last Friday and the Friday before that. And doesn't it feel so great for those of you guys who are with us to not feeling like you're scramming into the new year.
Scramming.
What?
What's scramming?
Like
scrambling.
Scrambling. That's it.
Scram. Scram. Get out of here. Scram. You're scramming into the new year.
like you're what is it?
You'd be scramming out of the old year. Scrambling.
Scrambling.
Like
Like
scrambled eggs.
doesn't it feel great to walk into today and not feel like you're scrambling because you're trying to undo like all of the negative behavior that derailed you over the last couple of weeks or months? Like to me that's inspiring to know that it's like wow, like when other people are truly embodying it, that I'm like, okay, all right, we're on to something. And it's freaking cool because it's an amazing feeling.
Yeah, and let me ask you a question. As long as you're alive, you're breathing, you're above ground, you get out of bed, you put your feet on the floor. Does what you want matter to you today? The goal is for you to answer yes, because what you want does matter. In fact, we spend the majority of our time thinking about ourselves and the things we want or don't want. So it clearly matters. Now, tomorrow, will it matter? What about the next day? What about February 23rd? What about on
Will what matter?
what you want?
Uh-uh.
What you want, your goals, your body, your health, your mental well-being. Will all of that matter? What about on uh, what about on May 30th? What about on October 9th? Every single day, every single season you're in, it matters. So whether it's New Year's Day, New Year's Eve, Christmas, Thanksgiving, a birthday, a graduation, a celebration, a promotion, a vacation, a baby, new relationship, getting out of an old relationship, every single day, your goals and what makes you feel great about you matters. It's wild to me that people will ask why you're working out when you're on vacation. Why you wanna eat healthy. It's the holidays. Come on, relax. As if it doesn't matter. As if it's some, like, invisible, arbitrary, non-existent day that you just get to live for free and do whatever the fuck you feel like with no consequences.
Mhm.
Every day matters.
Every day matters.
Now, I think it's science. You were talking about motivation, and a lot of times we're motivated by the negative thing, the fear or whatever. And I don't know what the studies or data is, but I'm pretty sure it's science that by nature human beings will be more motivated by fear than by a desire.
Yes.
Imagine you see a lion. You are more motivated. You're stronger, you're faster, you're, more clear, you're focused, you've got more creativity going through your mind in that moment of fear because you immediately, without thought goes away. It's instinct at this point.
Mhm.
Your brain starts running through, okay, how can I escape the danger of the situation? Do I climb a tree? Do I run? Do I lay down? Do I hide? Do I play dead? Do I look all scary like they say to do when you see a bear? Like you start running through it without even thinking about it, and your adrenaline goes up. And we've got all of these mechanisms to help us preserve our lives.
Mhm.
That's nature. Now, when you see something you want, let's say there's like a say there's $100,000 like
Right there.
across the street, across the other side of the freeway, and you have to like cross all the traffic. You will, but you'll be a bit more cautious. You're like, okay, let me think about it. Okay, the car is going to go by. You're like, the money's there. I see it. It's fine. Like, I'll get to it eventually. I'll get to it eventually. Like that. And you're excited about it. It's not that you're not like, yes, but you're not going to go sprint across the freeway without looking where the cars are, without making sure you're safe. The path is clear. So
I remember when Boogie ran down the road one time and you
God.
went chasing him.
No, I told him stay and he came. He was not trained. He's like, I see mama across the street. I'm like, no, stay. Anyways, that was terrifying. So, beside the point, what I'm saying is like it's not new that we know discipline will trump motivation all day, every day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I think that everybody knows that. But for some reason, we're still looking to be motivated, which is super inconsistent, untrustworthy. And if you were to have a friend, call it motivation, who sometimes they're there for you when you need them, sometimes they're not. They just kind of show up whenever they feel like it, unannounced, and then they just leave without saying goodbye. And you call them and they rarely answer, because when we're looking for motivation, it's not happening. You've got to go on the internet, scrolling around, looking for what's going on in their lives because they haven't talked to you for a while, searching for motivation. And then when it shows up, it's like, hey, I'm here. And then just pieces out. Like, it doesn't stick around very long. Like, how long would you want to be friends with somebody like that?
I don't have friends like that at this point in my life.
So, yeah, I mean,
They'd be gone.
I think I'm preaching to the choir. So it's not like I need to go on that anymore. But it is just to know and understand and come to peace with the fact that motivation is unreliable. It's not the thing that's going to move you anywhere. Think of it as a bonus. Like when you're playing a video game, you're playing like Mario and you get like the what's the mushroom? Is that what makes him bigger or gives him another life or whatever? No, let's say Mario Kart, and you hit the booster. You're like, okay, I wasn't expecting that, but like, I'll take it. That's motivation. You're like, it's a bonus. Sweet. Feels really great when it's here, but I'm not going to, my actions and how I show up will not be dictated by whether or not I have the super booster called motivation.
So here's why momentum is key. And for those of you guys who are live with us, like you're like, I know this is nothing new. And the truth is that human beings need more reminders than they need new lessons. So the reason that, like, if I was to reverse engineer the power of momentum is the building block of confidence. Okay. Confidence requires trust in order to be built.
Mhm.
And trust requires consistency.
Mm.
Whether going back to that relationship,
And
right?
integrity.
The reason why I personally, at this point in my life, I don't have time or energy to waste on
I choose not to use my time or energy on
relationships that kind of seem like if there is no trust or trust is broken, like to me, it's like there's no longevity in it. And the reality is that it's like that with anything. Whether it's like your relationship with your body. Many of you guys, when you've come to us, you felt like you were at like a either dead halt for months or like your body was backfiring against you. And all of a sudden you've been like incorporating the system of peak physique, and you've been building consistency, which basically like you're teaching your body to trust you through your actions, right? Like your body is not going to listen to you based on what I want, right? Like New Year's resolutions. Now everybody is acting based on how they want. But the reality is that your body, just like your kid, just like your any relationship, is built based on trust. And in order for trust to be built, there gets to be consistency. So the higher the level of consistency, the higher the level of predictability. Yes. And that's what creates harmony, and that's what builds momentum. And that's how you achieve great results, right? And that's why this program is so valuable, because you're tracking one thing and one thing only. Confidence is not built based on a number on the scale. Now, when you show up to you in integrity, in a trustworthy way, and you see the number on the scale going down, that's reaffirmation, right? But looking for affirmation from something external without being focused on trust, it's like building something on a really weak foundation, and it's not going to last. So the reason why I just wanted to bring that, it's because in order for you to reach your potential, it requires you to go over the edge. So I'll give you an example. This morning in my workout, I went over the edge 6 times. And
Like push yourself, stretch yourself, challenge yourself.
yeah, like push yourself beyond what you know is like your comfort zone, right? So,
Or your current capability or skill set.
yeah, based on what you have done up until now.
Mhm.
So, your level of consistency is going to give you proof, and also uh, a certain level of confidence to go beyond what is your current edge. Okay. So, for example, in today's workout, there is a high skill gymnastic movement that's called bar muscle ups, where you basically go from under the bar to over the bar, right? And it was coupled up with heavier weights. And um, the goal was to accumulate as many reps as possible. So,
What workout were you doing?
no, it was 3 to 5, but as many reps as possible within a minute. That's why I went for sets of 5.
It
even
was
though-
3 to 5 within a minute.
right.
Not
I
as
know.
many reps as possible.
No, but the score is total reps. So basically,
But it's not like in a minute, do as many as you can.
no,
It
no,
was
no, no,
3
no.
to 5 reps in the minute.
Right, right. So I knew that
Full
3
stop.
is something that I'm confident with, right? But there was a little birdie that whispered in my ear, and was like, "You've done 4 one time. Like, you can do sets of 4." So I was like, "All right, I'm gonna do sets of 4." But then something that I told myself, knowing myself, right? Like when you show up consistently, you also gain a higher level of awareness with regards to your strengths, your weaknesses, your capabilities, and everything in between. So I was telling myself, all right, Sarit, you're gonna shoot for 5 in your first set, and then we're gonna maintain at 4. So first set, I went for 5 and I was unbroken. I was like, my adrenaline was pumping. I'm like, good job. All right, like on to the next one, kind of like a video game. And then second set came around. My heart is beating out of my chest because I'm like outside of my comfort zone. I'm like, I'm gonna go for it. And if I fail, then it is what it is, right? And I ended up doing 5 sets of 5 under some kind of fatigue. And at the end, I was really proud of myself. But my point for sharing this with you and give you that analogy is because when you show up with a certain level of consistency, like you have a greater context as to what your baseline is. And when you have a certain level of trust within you, and you get to a point where it's time to push yourself over the edge or go beyond what is your current edge, then you're more likely to do so, right? It's like, and this shows up everywhere in your life, whether it's, like with your career, with your body. We have this monthly challenge, and many of you guys are like, shit, like I haven't done this thing in like months or years, right? Like you guys are pushing yourself beyond your edge. Why? Because you've shown up consistently for a given amount of time, and it gives you the confidence to do something that's pretty scary. Like, trust me, I get it. Like high box jumps scare the shit out of me, right? That's why I told myself I'm going to do all reps with high box jumps, because for me, that will be the win. It's not to accumulate the reps, it's to become comfortable with something that was extremely uncomfortable at the beginning of the month. You know what I mean? So, all that to say, we all have an incredible potential. Now, what is going to give you that safety net and that ability to move in the trajectory of your potential is consistency. I don't care how intense someone shows up for a week or two. I don't, because anything great takes months and years and decades. I'm not even talking weeks, right? Like in a couple of weeks, you can kind of get in the groove and understand what it's like to get in a rhythm. But you can never achieve anything great like in a quick amount of time. It requires an insane amount of repetition. And I believe that more people, like we all have a tendency, because we are impatient beings by nature, especially the, you know, more advanced society is becoming, right? We can now get anything that we want in seconds. The reality is that trust and consistency takes time and repetition and repetition and repetition. And that is really the only way to build momentum. And momentum is essential to sustainability and success. So
I realized something. It's not a new realization, just a different way of thinking about it. Because when we're conditioned, like you're talking about, I'll go off of this. When we're conditioned that in our society, we can get things at the snap of a finger, a click of a button, shows up at our door within 24 hours. It's instant and it's satisfying because it happens so fast. I want something and I want it now. You know, like Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. But I want it now. That's what it reminds me of. It's like,
I want to watch
it's like anybody living in America is like anything we want. We want it. I want it yesterday. I wanted to have dropped 20 pounds yesterday, dog. Like, actually, in fact, are there 6-pack abs on Amazon? Like, can I just like order a?
There is.
And so, because we're conditioned in this instant gratification type world, we have lost our patience.
That's good.
We've lost our patience. And patience is absolutely essential for getting the result you want, because no great result happens fast enough to where your 21st century mind will be satisfied with. Now, when we realize that the goals we have are going to take longer than we want them to take, and are going to, and we're going to be faced with way more challenges than we realize, when we come to terms with that and we make peace with that, the journey becomes so much easier.
Yeah.
Because you just know I'm in this for the long run, and I'm going to run into some shit that I'm going to need to face. So then when it happens, you're not surprised. Oh my God, I had a bad day. Oh my God, I quit. My boss hurt my feelings. Oh my God, throwing in the towel. It's been a week. I've been in a calorie deficit for a week and I haven't lost 13 pounds yet. So here's what I realized. Now to my realization. Learn to master the mundane. The reason why we're motivated on January 1st or Monday is it's the start of something new.
Yes.
It's the start of something new. But what happens when it's not new anymore? What happens when the excitement wears off?
What happens when it's painful?
Well, it's just
uncomfortable?
no, it's just the new and the excitement is
Yeah.
what's motivating.
Yeah.
So what happens when those wear off? You have not learned to master the boring, mundane, day in and day out of what it is like to live a healthy lifestyle.
Mhm.
So make it your journey. If you truly want results you're proud of and that are sustainable, make it your goal to master what's mundane. Practice it over and over again. It's not exciting to eat another healthy meal. No, but it's also not exciting to look in the mirror and hate what you see, not only physically, but as a representation of the choices you have made and your lack of self control.
Yep. That's what phase 4 is all about. It's the test of like, have you mastered the mundane?
I'm not
Sorry.
done.
Sorry.
And then I was thinking about
Mhm.
how nervous you were. Your heart was racing, not just because you did
I
heavy.
told
Hold on,
myself I'm
ma'am,
excited.
ma'am,
Yeah.
please.
Mm,
I was very quiet during your time.
you were. I acknowledge
Thank
you.
you. Now, I love
I
you.
love you.
So then I was thinking about how you were like nervous to do, nervous, excited. It's the same
Yeah.
feeling.
Uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's whatever perspective we put on it. But your adrenaline
Uh-huh.
was increased for a reason.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, what if you wouldn't have tried that? Like, what if you wouldn't have made the attempt? You wouldn't know. You
I-
wouldn't know what you're capable of.
Uh-huh.
Do you keep moving to the left? Because I
Well,
keep moving the
I
camera.
was putting on my
This is
by
real
mine
life.
I mean your flannel.
What's mine is yours, and what's yours is also yours. If you wouldn't have tried, you wouldn't know if you would have been able to do it. Now, here's the other thing I wrote. You only know what you're capable of if you are willing to fail. You will only know what you're capable of if you have the willingness to screw it up, to look stupid, to mess up, to make a mistake, to look like an idiot, to be judged, to be criticized, to not meet the target.
Mm-hmm.
And so, if you will simply change the story that you have made up about failure, you can easily overcome this.
Mm-hmm. So true.
If you ask yourself, what's the worst thing that will happen?
That's what I ask myself.
Usually, we don't ask this question. All we do is in our subconscious mind, we think we're going to die. The worst thing is death. I'm dead. Somebody says something mean about me, I'm dead. But you don't actually make the connection or rationalize that it's just somebody saying something mean. Sticks and stones. It's not, you're not dead. It's not the end of the world. You still have your house, you still have food, you still have your family, you still have nothing changes just because somebody said something dumb. But we make it like, okay, if I try this thing, think about when you first jumped into, if you're watching this on YouTube, we have our like bread and butter program is called Peak Physique. Okay. Many of you who have come into Peak Physique were nervous to start. What if I fail? Yeah, good question. What if you fail? Oh my God, then I lost money that I paid for. Are you dead? Is money recoverable? Does it come back? Can you replenish it? Like, is it really the worst thing? So if we actually get intimate with what the potential consequences are, they're not as bad as we think. So if we just say, what happens if fill in the blank with whatever your fear is? What happens if I fail? What happens if I lose money? What happens if somebody makes fun of me?
What happens if I fail 100 times in a row?
We're not even there yet. So like, yeah, good. Answer that question. Don't just assume it's the worst thing ever
Mm-hmm.
because you'll never take action. You'll never step outside your comfort zone. That's why I'm saying courage is a necessary part of body transformation. You
And-
have to have it.
And I believe that you in order to build courage, you gotta build trust.
I would like to request that
Sorry.
you let me talk.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Okay.
Where was I? You're responsible for this.
Courage
Oh,
is
yeah.
an essential
Oh,
part
yeah.
of body
So
transformation.
answer the question, what if I fail? Like, actually take time and write it out. What happens? What's the worst thing that's possibly going to happen if you don't make 5 muscle ups? Oh my God, you do 4 and then you miss a rep and hold on, don't say it. I'm still talking. It's rhetorical right now. Rhetorical question. Somebody type definition of rhetorical in the chat just so we're clear. What would have happened if you didn't hit the 5th rep? Oh my God, you would have gone, oh, okay, what? I'm standing on my own 2 feet and I have 1 more rep to do? Or oops, I did 4 and now I know where my current capability lies?
Mhm.
Is it really the worst thing? Oh my God, but somebody was watching from across the gym and they saw me fail that 5th rep. Who cares? Amazing. You're making up a story about what they're thinking about you. How arrogant, as if you can read their mind. It's your own judgment on yourself that you are assuming other people are thinking about you. I said what I said.
Okay, so can I respond to
Yep.
your questions? Because I was literally
Ma'am, you have the floor.
that's what inspired me to go over the edge. Like,
But did you die?
today. So when I went into the second set,
I'm hot.
and I was like, all right, I'm gonna do it. And my heart is pumping. And I was like, dude, like,
Go for
I'm
it.
like, be present, be in the moment. Because like, did it ever happen to you guys? Like, drop it in the chat where you psyched yourself out and that's what made you mess up. Happened to me a lot of times. So at this point, I know that, like, in order for me to perform a certain way in anything, I got to be present. So I told myself, I'm like, dude, like, stop psyching yourself out. Like, what's the worst thing that's going to happen? Okay, worst thing that's going to happen is I'm going to do 3 and then I'm going to come down and do a 2. Like, truly. And then it's like, is it the worst thing? And I said, no. So just hold on. So
Like that you tell me to hold on and I haven't even said it.
so like here is where I'm at in my own journey. I have let myself down for a longer portion of my life. And that old version of me still lives within me. Like, my memory still remembers her. So what actually became the worst thing for me is not like I put logic into it by saying, okay, if anything, I'll do 3 and 2. But really, it wasn't about that. It was about her showing up in my day. And I ran forward away from her more than a decade ago because I was unhappy living my life that way. So for me, it was actually about, what will it mean? It will mean the story that I self-perpetuated for such a long time that I choose to no longer live in. So that was actually the thing for me. So then I told myself, all right, and if this is what it's all about, how are you gonna quiet her down? And I said, through action.
I'm
And
gonna show her.
And she showed up last week when we had the high box jumps, and I felt super defeated. And then you saw me like grab the box and like all these freaking plates. Like, I wish someone could have recorded me. It was hilarious and also like ridiculous at the same time. And that's who I am. And at this point in time, I have built systems in my life to know how to, like, if she shows up, I know how to defeat her immediately. So I was like, there is something that gets to happen today in order for me to show myself, my emotional self, because is it logical? No, it's not. And here's the thing about us human beings. We have emotion and we have logic. Both of them have a purpose that works for us should we know how to manipulate it. So I was like, all right, Let's utilize the logic so that we can show her that this version of you is real and the old version of you, she don't live here no more.
She can fuck off.
You know what I mean? Uh, so I told myself, all right, so if the worst thing that's going to happen is she's going to show up today, like what will get to happen in order for you to overcome her? And I was like, honestly, like 3 and 2 will be like still like a huge win regardless. So it's like, so is there anything to fear? No, there isn't. All right, then just go do the dang thing. And guess
Interesting.
what? I did.
Interesting how you still felt fear even though there was nothing for you to really be afraid of.
Yeah.
This is what happens most of the time.
Yeah.
Unless you are hanging by your fingers off of the edge of a cliff, going into the ocean with crocodiles right underneath you or something. I don't know what, what's that movie, you guys? Alvin and the Chipmunks? Worry, 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 worry. Somebody knows what I'm talking about. You don't. Anyways, they're like holding the chipmunks above the alligators, and the alligators are like, yeah, give it to us. Anyways, unless that's happening, they're really like, usually there's not anything to be afraid of. It's all just our imagination. So if you're going to use your imagination to make shit up anyways, just make some shit up that at least serves you and helps propel you forward.
Mhm.
I wrote, how different would we show up if we acted as if there were no past?
Mm.
Because what are we afraid of? The only thing, look at a kid, a child that has no experience of, they've not broken any bones, they've not been yelled, like they're so new in the world. I mean, actually, like, I think being born is immediate trauma.
It is.
And so we're all
Your
born,
skull gets crushed.
we're all born into trauma, even if it's a C-section. Like you come out screaming bloody murder and you're cold, you're like, fuck this.
Trauma is a part of life.
Yes. But anyways, what I'm saying is imagine a kid, like if you ever wonder why kids are so like adventurous and like fearless, it's because they don't have a, I'll say traumatic in a very loose term. It could be the smallest amount of trauma, like I twisted my ankle all the way up until like the worst of the worst, okay? But they've not had those experiences yet. So they're not acting based on some traumatic thing that happened previously. They just go for it and they will call it fuck around and find out. Like sometimes the fucking around is worth the finding out. I do it often in my workouts, and that is exactly what you did today. You fucked around and you found out.
Mhm.
But you found out to your benefit.
Mhm.
You were like, "Who cares?" Sometimes Brad is like, "Do singles on this," and I'm like, "No, I'm gonna touch and go, and I'm gonna see what happens."
You're really good.
Like,
You
I
and your
might
brothers are really good at fucking around, and sometimes I see them, I'm like, oh my gosh, I get scared for them.
But anyways, go back to the question of how would you show up and what action would you take as if there were no past for you to remember?
Yeah.
The
So
only thing you see is moving forward is the possibility
Mhm.
of success.
Yeah.
How would life change? Like just that thought alone. I told you about this a couple weeks ago where I was like, I'm focusing on what is right now moving forward rather than what has been. Because if I just think about my failures, of course, I'm not going to take action. Of course, I'm going to be hesitant. Of course, I'm going to restrict myself. But if all I'm looking at is my vision and the potential,
Mhm.
as if something could go differently than it has before, or there is no way that it has ever gone before, and all I know is moving forward, you have a
Mhm.
lot more courage to take action
Yeah.
and try things out and test things and go for it and make the investment and try the new recipe. What if I mess it up? I don't know. What? Probably your house is not going to catch on fire. You just have a shitty mess of, whoops, I made that recipe wrong. Like, is really not the end of the world. So how would you show up if you acted as if there were no past? And my other one for today, you only know what you're capable of if you're willing to fail. Go. I feel like
So
we're gonna tag each other in and out, like we're wrestlers, tag team. It's like, you go.
so speaking about achieving something that's worth it, I'll tell you guys, living my life having a six pack, it's worth it. It's worth it.
Mm,
Does and it has trade-offs.
mhm,
It's an asset that you can't buy. You
mhm.
gotta train it in multiple ways because I'm not just training. You can do
For a
crunches,
long
sit-ups
time.
all day long, but it requires so much more than that. You guys know that. So I want you guys to think and drop in the comments, like, what is something in your life that, where you would say the stakes are higher and it's worth it. Um,
I have an example
mm,
from somebody in our community,
yeah.
Jeanette Kallenbach. You've done this more than one time, but the most recent one, asking your boss for a raise, who historically does not seem to be the easiest person to communicate with or request things from,
Mhm.
and you went for it anyways.
Mhm.
Um, and what's the worst thing that's going to happen? Someone says no. And let me also share why somebody saying no is uncomfortable. It's
Mhm.
called rejection.
Mhm.
And there's a story we make up about being rejected. It's
Mhm.
different for each of us, but it could sound like I'm not good enough, I'm not likable, I'm not lovable,
I
I
meant
don't
to be
have
this
what it
way.
takes.
Yeah.
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 And again, the power of your imagination working against you.
Yeah.
And so that's also why you have a hard time saying no to people who are, let's say, offering you food or a drink or something that you don't want or is not in alignment, and you have a hard time saying no because you're anticipating you're going to hurt their feelings. Stop doing that. You're making up a story of how they're going to respond. Now, historically, you may have gotten that response before, but is it really your responsibility how they feel about you making decisions for you
And for your own body.
and for your own benefit and like health and well-being? I thought of another question.
I'm not even done
I know.
with my loop. Can just wait till your button, ma'am. All right. So think about
I did.
something that's worth it, or like something that requires a lot of work that you're chasing. Melsec, I see that you're here. I know, like, for you, it's like training for a marathon, having dropped 100 pounds. Like, you guys are playing a big game, right? And I'm going to compare it to food. All right. Let's talk
All
about
right.
food. I expect a lot of responses on this one.
All right.
So go back in time. This time, I want you to utilize your memory. Go back to the past. All right. What is the best meal that you've ever had? And this is not a trick question. What is the best meal you've ever had? I feel like I know what you're going to say.
So it's funny. I don't think you know what I'm going to say. Okay, first, there's best meal and then there's the first meal that came to mind. They're not the same.
Okay.
But why am I thinking best? I think a lot of you will resonate with this. And so when I was training for a figure competition, I was wildly strict on the food I could eat. I didn't have very much muscle. So like my natural metabolism was not very high. I was still kind of new to training. So I just did really like a shit ton of cardio, and I did lift weights at least 5 days a week. But I was like X number of grams of carbs, X number of grams of protein, X number of grams of fat. If I go over that or under that, I'm not going to make it. It was like dramatic in my mind. In my mind, it was literally do or die, all or nothing. That's it, 100%. And every week, I could earn myself a cheat meal. You may have heard of it before. And of course, I'm going to do whatever it takes to earn that cheat meal. Are you kidding me? So I think my mom and I went to like Old Chicago, which is a pizza place in Portland. Went to Old Chicago first. I plan these days out. I got a calzone. I got like we got a few desserts. Then we went to Starbucks and I got some stupid, shitty Frappuccino chocolate chip something. And then we went to Costco. Mind you, all of this had to be within an hour. I was prepared. Not Costco. We went to Winco and we got
Winco was fun.
Ice cream. But by the time we even got to Winco, I already felt like I was going to puke, but I got the ice cream anyways. And I said, I'm going to eat as much as I can with the remaining time that I have.
What a terrible.
So this is not my favorite meal, but it's the first one that came to my mind. So I thought it was funny.
What is the best meal you've ever had?
Probably Rosh Hashanah and the Dead Sea.
Oh, that was good.
The shakshuka and all that.
The roasted eggplants. Okay, so I'm going to read some of what you guys put up here. Thanks for participating. Debbie says, an Italian meal in San Francisco. Ooh. Jeanette, lobster ravioli for my anniversary. Mel, Italian restaurant for our. You guys love your Italian.
I know what's happening for the next ES Live. Maybe we should go to Italy together. Leah would love it.
Leah's house.
Yeah, it's at Leah's house this year. She'd be like, "Come on."
She won't be there. She's like, I'll be on the ship. See you guys later. Just kidding.
She's all like, right. I'd love to be there at my own house.
Oh my gosh. Jill doesn't even know what to choose. Steph.
Seafood broil.
Seafood broil during a vacation to Outer Banks. At least top 10. And then
homemade cinnamon rolls with my grandma. Oh yeah.
Oh, there's more coming. Surf and turf, medium filet mignon and garlic skewer, loaded baked potatoes, sweet tea.
Oh yeah, big ass bowl of salad. Really? That's your favorite meal?
So
it's fun.
I want you guys to go back to this favorite meal. Do you guys believe, I mean, you probably, it sounds like most of you guys did not cook it yourself. Do you believe that it was cooked fast? Or do you think that the amount of time that went into cooking it took a couple of hours maybe?
And was it cooked with love or rushing?
Mm-hmm.
Was it, I just got to get this done? Or was it like mindfully made?
Took a couple of hours. That's one response. Let's wait for the next few to come through. I'm sure it was all from scratch and took most of the day. Yep.
Made with love, the main ingredient.
Made from scratch. Okay. All right. So
I proved my point. She's so proud.
Stop. So my point for sharing this, it's anything in life that's worth it. Just like a well worth it meal, whether it seems like you guys are really into Italian, or for Erin, whether it's the Rosh Hashanah, like Mediterranean style dinner, or, maybe if it's like a grill. It requires time. And I want you to utilize that towards your journey. Anything great that you want to build, a healthy body, strength, fitness, confidence, self-trust, self-worthiness, it takes time. And this is ultimately, as we wrap this up, why motivation is mediocre. Because motivation, it's a quick hit thing, right? It's like it comes on Monday, it leaves by Wednesday. It comes, during the first week of January, leaves on February 1st. So, whatever it is that you are going for this year, don't seek motivation, seek consistency. And for those of you guys who are here live with us, I know you're playing the game of consistency, and I acknowledge you for that. There are painful things about it. And here's what it comes down to. If you're alive, you're going to experience pain. And it's up to you to choose what pain would you rather experience. I don't know about you, but I would rather experience the pain and discomfort of getting better and knowing that I am working on becoming my best self every single day than the pain and discomfort of just living life without purpose and have it be stale. You know what I mean? So do not expect for pain to not show up, because it will. It's just a matter of what will be worth it. And anything worth it takes time.
Just hearing you reading the comments and thinking about pasta, I thought, okay, love, time, clear, consistency. If you decided, oh my God, this ravioli is taking too long, or oh my gosh, that piece didn't look exactly how I thought it would, aka the day doesn't go as planned, and you just say, and you leave the pasta out for a day or two, and then you come back to it expecting to pick up where you left off, it's not going to work. It requires persistence, consistency, time, presence, love, and patience. And so I'm like, that's how we treat our goals sometimes.
Yeah.
Is like, oh, it's not working. So you stop. And then you come back to the pasta expecting to pick up where you left off. But you've got to start over. You've got to start over because it's dried out and shitty. It's not going to do what you want it to do at this point.
Yeah.
So instead of starting over, start where you are, even if it's imperfect, even if it doesn't look exactly the way that you planned it to look. Just be determined to finish. And the last question I want to leave you with is the actions that you're taking for your health, your body goals, really to look great, feel great. That's what everybody wants. Are you willing to do those for the rest of your life? Not perfectly, not to the same extreme every single day, but are you willing to do those things for the rest of your life? If the answer is no, I'm not sure you're ready. Or you're just trying to start out too hot. Can you drink half of your body weight in ounces for every day for the rest of your life? Then start there. But if you're trying to count macros and calories and drink the water and, do 2 hours of working out a day, and oh my God, because it's New Year's and I'm so motivated, but you're not willing to do all of those things for the rest of your life, don't start there. That's why in the very first phase of the 6-week peak physique, we take you through very basic, fundamental, foundational things that you can practice daily, no matter what's going on or where you're at or what season it is or how you're feeling. They're typically things you can execute on no matter what. It might look different from day to day, but you can execute on them no matter what. So,
yeah.
Because that's it. It will take the rest of your life. Because if it doesn't take the rest of your life, all you're going to do is slide back into old habits and keep chasing your tail. That we talked about at the beginning.
Yeah.
So it's a rest of your life thing, not a 12-week challenge or a 3-month coaching or a whatever. It's forever.
Yeah. It's your life and it matters. So yeah, that being said, remember, as we head into this new year, this journey is worth it. It's not always going to be rainbows and butterflies, and what's on the other side is going to be so worth it. So be patient, trust the process, and my wish for you is that you lead with a state of mind of momentum instead of relying on motivation.
Word. See you guys.
Peace
Have
out,
a great
everyone.
weekend.
Happy Flex Friday.
Bye.